All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Tonight, we're going to be talking about the Minnesota Vikings 3-0 absolute thriller. I hope you guys have all caught up on sleep since that Sunday electric game. Well, the good news is currently the Minnesota Vikings defense is allowing less than 19 points per game. They have been absolutely on fire. It's actually been one of the best defensive turnarounds in a season-to-season range that I've seen in quite some time here. If we were to combine last year's Minnesota Vikings offense and this year's Minnesota Vikings defense, well, folks, they'd be one of the best teams, not only in the NFC, but in the NFL in general. So the good news is Captain Kirk, when he's healthy next season, with this defense, with all these threats on the offensive side, they are going to be one hell of a force. Now, the good news is as well, I think Nick Mullins is a much better fit than Josh Dobbs, as we saw in the last couple of drives. 9 of 13, 83 yards. But I just think he fits the scheme and the system that Kevin O'Connell has in place perfectly. No shade or disrespect meant for Nick Mullins, but I've seen a lot of you guys comparing or just saying, Diet Kirk Cousins. Backup QB, 4 games left on the season. They're 7-6. They're currently the 6th seed in the NFC. It's going to be a quite interesting final 4 games because you've got 2 games against the Detroit Lions, who are currently suffering and struggling to get anything going. Then you also have my Green Bay Packers, and then this upcoming Saturday against Jake Browning and the Cincinnati Bengals. So I do think Nick Mullins, Justin Jefferson should be good to go by Saturday, and you still have Jordan Addison, you still got TJ Hockenson, and you have a defense that is firing on all cylinders. I don't care if you're playing Patrick Mahomes or a backup QB like you were in Aiden O'Connell. A shutout is extremely impressive, and that defense is playing so hard. So before we get any further into tonight's video, if you guys enjoy it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. Vikings fans, if I could try and get this video to 250 likes, that would mean the absolute world to me. So defensively, against the Las Vegas Raiders, they had 4 total sacks. They had an interception by my man Ivan Pace, game clinching first drive of, I guess, the first play of the final drive, a better way to say that. Forced fumble. They caused 3 turnovers against Las Vegas. And this defense is, they say defense wins championships. So let's put it to the test here. All I need Nick Mullins to do with the way the defense has been playing is keep it clean. No silly turnovers, no fumbles. Josh Dobbs dealt with so many fumble issues. I just think he fits it so much better. I really do, and I think it was evident in the last couple of drives that once he got subbed in, and he's already been announced. It's Tuesday afternoon, and he's already been announced as the starter for, this upcoming Saturday, but I would assume the rest of the season here. He is a veteran. He hasn't been in the league for all that long, but, like in his rookie season with San Francisco, he's throwing up like 275 yards per game, so he can sling it. And he's not going to make too many mistakes, especially with Kevin O'Connell calling plays. So one thing I really want to see moving forward is just a better run game. And that's exactly what we saw against the Raiders. 30 total rushes, 132 yards, averaging about 4.4 yards per carry. When we take a look at Minnesota on the season, which is really weird because I think Alexander Mattison is a dog, they're 5th to dead last in the league as far as rushing yards per game, coming in at just 95.2. This is playoff football. Every snap, every drive, every play counts. And I want this team, because they're controlling the trenches defensively, I want them to control the trenches offensively as well. We saw way too many sacks. Josh Dobbs took way too many sacks. Max Crosby is an absolute freak superstar. They also moved Tyree Wilson interior to the interior defensive line, and it was really paying off. So keep in mind, the Las Vegas Raiders defense is also top 10. They're just extremely slept on, under-recognized, underrated defense, but way too many sacks from Josh Dobbs. So Nick Mullins, keep the possessions in your favor as far as don't throw any interceptions, no fumbles, nothing like that. Just keep the chains moving. It really is as simple as that. Now, we have such a small sample size of Nick. We only saw those couple of drives, game-winning drive, basically just kind of thrown in there. So I think he did a phenomenal job on the road against the Las Vegas Raiders. Really solid defense. So this upcoming game against Cincinnati, another above average defense, we're going to learn a lot more about, what can this team actually do. For me, momentum is everything. So even if, I really just genuinely think they're going to make the playoffs no matter who was starting, even if it was Jaron Hall. Nick Mullins, Josh Dobbs. I do think the Vikings win at least 2 of their last 4, and I do think 9-8 would even get you in the playoffs the way the NFC is looking, especially the way my Packers looked last night against the New York Giants. But to me, momentum is everything. I know they won 13 regular season games last season. You lost in the first round to the New York Giants. But if this team, after the way they started 0-3, with all like the turnover at cornerback, they've had 4 different dudes start at quarterback once Nick gets his start on Saturday. The fact that you can finish above 500 and the fact that you can make the playoffs, that's big momentum heading into the next season because when I look at this team, man, with Kirk Cousins, the way before Kirk got injured, I mean, the offense was finally starting to click. They were finally starting to figure it out. And hopefully this rushing attack continues to gain momentum and make an impact on these football games because Nick's got plenty of weapons. No matter who's the quarterback for the Vikings, they have so many weapons. And now that Justin Jefferson should be good to go for Saturday, I've got TJ Hawkinson, Jordan Addison, Justin Jefferson, KJ Osborne. I have so many threats offensively, but in the future as well. I've got the best wide receiver in the league when healthy in Justin Jefferson. I've got a great tight end in TJ Hawkinson, and I've got one of the best rookie wide receivers, if not the best rookie wide receiver of this past year's draft class in Jordan Addison. So the way this defense has turned it around from last year to this year, I mean, it's insane. Brian Flores has done just an absolutely phenomenal job, and it doesn't matter who they're playing. Justin Fields, Aiden O'Connell, it literally doesn't matter. They are doing such a good job. So I know this season has not gone as planned, mainly due to injuries to Kirk Cousins and Justin Jefferson, but I still think the future of the Vikings is extremely bright, and I really love Kevin O'Connell as the head coach for this team for the hopefully foreseeable future. So these last 4 games are just they're going to be so interesting. This upcoming Saturday against Cincinnati, Jake Browning just had a phenomenal game against the Indianapolis Colts, the playoff Indianapolis Colts, in a game where they scored 34 points. They've scored 34 points in back-to-back games. So it's not going to be an easy victory. And you got to have no turnovers. You got to get the run game going, and you got to put some touchdowns up on the board because even though it's Jake Browning, 3 points is not going to get the job done at any point in the rest of the season for obvious reasons here. So Detroit, Green Bay, and Cincinnati, it's going to be one fun final month here. All right. So I hope the Vikings end on a high note, but that's it for me, man. If you guys enjoyed it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. If you want more Vikings videos, let me know down below. We try to get at least 1 or 2 out there every single week. But guys, let me know what you're thinking about Nick Mullins being the starting quarterback for this upcoming Saturday at the very least. Let me know what you think. Drop a comment down below. What do you think the Minnesota Vikings will go in their final 4 games of the regular season? So thank you guys for watching. Have a great rest of your night, and we will see you soon.